Hi, a very good evening to all of you present here once again on this lovely Friday. It's been an extremely rainy day in Mumbai today. In fact, it's been raining for the past 1 week here. So, just to let you all know, we all are fine. We are all holding on with the Mumbaikar spirit. So, today we have with us a very special guest. Her name is Shubha Kushalappa. She is a certified cake artist and who lives by the axiom that you are never too old to set a new goal or to dream a new dream. So, at the age of 42, she embarked on this journey as a baker. And in fact, before doing that, she ensured that she was trained under celebrity chefs and she started her venture, which is called Delight Fills. So, without further ado, I will invite her to join us and we can hear from her how her journey has been so far. So, Shubha is joining us from Bangalore. Um,
Hi, Libby. Good
Hi,
evening.
Shubha.
How are you?
Good evening.
It's
I'm
lovely to
fine.
be
How
here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
I must say thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So, Shubha, I've been telling our viewers about you and how you started your journey. So, I'm sure more than me telling them, they would want to know from you how exactly you started, what made you decide to go, take this particular journey into this world of baking. So, if you
Sure.
don't
I should
mind.
say that I was a late starter. I was 42 when I started. So usually people start out at say 18, 19. So for the initial 20 years of my marriage, I was assisting my husband in his business. So after 20 years, I actually met with an accident. So that was when I had to take a break. So during that break, the initial 6, 7 months went on for healing. And then after that, I took a break of say around 1.5 to 2 years. You look very bored these days. So why don't you do something? So coincidentally, during that time, there was a sale at our apartment and it was a bake sale. So I just, whipped up a batch of cupcakes just like that. I used to enjoy baking. I think the first cake which I had baked, probably I was, in the ninth or eighth or something. I remember baking a cake for my cousins with a cooker. Okay, so I just
Oh,
picked up a batch of cupcakes. So and surprisingly, it just got sold out in minutes. So I was pretty surprised.
okay.
I didn't know my cupcakes were so good. And during that time, a friend of mine came and said, you have to bake for my friend's daughter's, my daughter's birthday, bake a batch of cupcakes. And I was like, oh, you can do this too. So I said, okay, fine, I'll bake it for you. And I baked for her. And then another friend requested. So it kind of, I started getting orders like this. But then I was very clear, if I wanted to start something, I believe that, we have to study. See, you can't become a doctor or an engineer just by kind of, YouTubing
Correct.
or Googling and stuff like that, right? You really need to get trained. So why not being a cake artist? For that also you have to study. See, you may get a good recipe. Yes, I agree. You may know the basic techniques, I agree. But then all the little details, all the little tips and tricks you get to learn only when you go and get trained under somebody good. So then I did
Okay.
my research. I went and enrolled at Lavon under
Okay.
Chef Joni Tan. So initially I started off only with the basic baking course. So then I realized I just love this, this is my calling.
Okay.
So then I started taking orders, but then I kept on upgrading. So I have done several courses. It's not as if, I
Okay.
have just stopped at one course and stuff like that. Every 3, 4 months, I used to go learn something new.
Oh, okay.
You know, even today, I believe in learning. Even something new comes up, I would just love to go and learn. That is how it
Okay. I
started.
mean, yeah, obviously, like they say, the learning never stops in any
It
kind
never
of
stops.
profession. You
No,
have
no,
to,
no.
I
You can
mean,
be 70, you can be 80. You should learn. When you learn, you feel young at heart. Your brain is also sharp, is what I believe.
that's absolutely true. I've noticed it. I mean, if you're at home for a long time and I mean, you're working, you go to you go to work, you come back, and that's it. Then your brain kind of gets stagnated. The moment you
True, true.
start to read or learn something new is when you're
So true,
rejuvenated, kind of a
actually,
thing.
yes. It kind of challenges you, right?
Totally. So you said you were not doing something, and then you decided to get into baking. I mean, you figured out
Yes.
that. I mean, I would say, so lucky few who actually get to figure out, what
True,
they're
true.
good at, and
I
what
agree.
where
I
their
was one
passion
of the
lies.
lucky few, I suppose.
Yeah. So even when you decided to, go ahead and make this into your second career, I mean, weren't there any apprehensions in mind as to, well, whether this would work, or
See,
if
I didn't
it
have
would?
anything to lose, right? So I kind of see the initial funding was done by my husband. So somewhere down the line, I should thank him for that also. And the support was there at home. And then, see, it was not as if I opened up a commercial setup and kind of a thing. And, it was just from home. So I didn't have anything to lose as such. So I was not scared. And I think somewhere down the line, I was confident also that I could do something.
Okay. So, when you started off, did you have like any targets in mind, as in, I should get these many orders only, will then I be profitable, or, I should reach these targets? Any
Nothing,
of that
nothing,
business plan,
nothing.
basically, am I?
Honestly speaking, I didn't even think about the money part of it. I was just enjoying, after so many years, I got something which I could enjoy. So I was just going with the flow. See, I wouldn't say money is not important. Money is important. That is an added bonus. But the joy it gives me is something I can't even explain. When you create something new, when people just text and say it's so pretty, and then when they call and when they share videos, pictures and stuff like that, the joy I get is something beyond what I can explain.
So all this, I mean, I've spoken to a lot of bakers, and when I talk to them, I realize that you guys actually, a lot of hours are spent on this, and late nights, early morning. I always wonder, where do you get the motivation to such backbreaking work, and it's not as if you're sitting in an
You can
AC
see my dark
room
circles.
and you're.
Suppose I hardly get to sleep. There are days when I sleep at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., and then I have this habit of updating my status. Okay, at odd hours I do update my status, and next morning my cousins text saying that, "What's wrong with you? Why aren't you sleeping? Why aren't you, getting enough rest and stuff like that?" But then I tell them, this has become a passion. I love doing it. Honestly speaking, it doesn't feel like work. See, when you're enjoying what you're
So
doing, doesn't feel like work actually. I think for bakers, that is what happens.
So when you're saying you are creating this, it's obviously an art form. I've seen your cakes, and most of
Thank
them
you.
are,
Thank you.
actual art forms. They
Thank
look
you.
like showpieces, which I wouldn't feel like cutting,
Thank you.
honestly speaking. But then a lot of times people order for regular cakes, and people who are willing to spend that kind of money on creating a beautiful piece of art, and people who would say, okay, get me a regular cake. So do you find your motivation wavering between the two, or any cake is the same for you?
Any cake is the
Because
same. Any cake is the same. So, see, when somebody orders, I ensure that it is not a plain cake as such. Even it is a small cake, cake also, I tend to decorate it a little bit, a flower here, a flower there, and stuff like that. So I ensure that something special goes. See,
that is
ultimately, honestly speaking, we charge much more compared to the regular bakeries. So when people are spending the money, we have to ensure that we give our best.
that is true. I mean, I've been working with bakers like you for so long now, and I have seen the effort that goes into the making of one cake. And sometimes when it is elaborate, the amount of time, the labor that you've spent on that cake is fantabulous.
Yes.
So when you did this, when you started off, like you said, you started it off from home. So what kind of preparations did you do? I mean,
See,
the initial investment, basically.
so initial investment was, of course, for the course, and then I did, buy a little a few hand mixers and stuff like that, a few tins and stuff like that. I didn't, of course, go and invest a heavy amount of money initially. But then once I, got the initial things ready, after that, what I did is I used to keep a separate amount to buy things. So after that,
Okay.
whatever I earned, I ensured one part of it goes to either upgrading my skill or buying new stuff. So
Okay,
it's
so
a very
after you started
expensive,
off,
it's a very expensive profession, I should say. A stand mixer costs around 70 to 80,000. Say a course will
okay,
cost you something, between 30 to 35,000. So you really need to kind of spend that money so that you can earn the money back also.
okay. So roughly, even to start off, even as a starting investment, what would be the kind of
See, I would say that,
investment that you,
probably a basic course at a very good institute should cost you somewhere between 20 to 25K. Then probably, another 20K or so for all your stuff, whatever you need. So
okay,
investment of 50,000 initially should be fine.
okay,
Should be fine.
okay, okay. So, yeah, so when you said that you started off, you went with the flow. But once you got into the flow, then did you come up with a business plan? Like one point I understood was you started realizing that if you earn so much, certain portion of it is spent back into the business,
It
as in
should
like,
be,
whether it is
that
to
is
up.
how a business should run actually, You just can't hoard away all the money. You really need to put it back into your business. I think the prior experience I had in my husband's company helped me a lot also, I suppose. So kind of I knew what
Okay.
you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do when you're starting off a new
Uh-huh.
business. That helped me a lot.
So anything that you can share with our viewers? I'm sure there are other bakers who want to get into the business. Any uh, do's and don'ts?
See, initially kind of, you don't realize. Now I'll tell you the main do's and don't for a baker. Don't visit a baking store. The minute you visit
Okay.
a baking store, you
Huh.
kind of start picking up everything. Half the things you don't need it actually. You just, have a look at that and you kind of shop too much. So these days I never do that. I just write down whatever I want. I send a WhatsApp message and those people will keep it aside. I have stopped visiting a store for a very long time, because initially I did realize I was spending a lot of money on just picking up stuff which I didn't need. So that's one thing I think all the
Okay.
bakers need to. I'm sure a lot of people will agree with me also.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure a lot of them have said they just go, you go into a store and then they
You
feel
just
that they
go
have to
mad when
buy.
you go there. You just randomly start picking up stuff. You may need it or you may
Yeah,
not need it. You just kind of pick up. These days, it's been quite a long time since I went and visited a baking store actually.
yeah, so it's like you enter a stationery shop and you know you don't want those things, but
Half
when
the
you
things
see
you
those
really do
things,
not need it. You just kind of, pick it up. And I'm sure people will realize, the baker baking supply store where I buy, they must be wondering, this is the reason this lady doesn't visit us anymore. So that is what happens.
I guess that's how they do their business. No, I'm sure they would be giving enticing offers to ensure
It's
that people
the
are
way
walking
they
into their
the
stores.
way they arrange stuff and things like that. It's too tempting.
Okay, so what else? So one
Um,
don't is don't visit.
don't visit. And one more thing is, it's not only for a baker. I'd say for every working woman who's out there, delegate your work. Ensure that there's somebody to take care of your house. You just can't be
Okay,
decorating a cake in the back of your mind. You're thinking, I haven't cooked for my family. I haven't,
okay,
ensure that dinner is ready, lunch is ready. So delegate your work. If you're earning something, give back to the society too. You're earning, so ensure that somebody else also is earning. So that has been
okay,
my
okay,
policy always. Thankfully, I have two people who take care of my house really well. So I
okay.
don't even think about that part of my life. So my house runs, though I'm busy.
Correct.
So
So
that's for
that
each and
must
every lady there.
Yeah, that must be one big relief because women in general, whether they're working in a corporate or they're doing their own business, at the back of the mind is always,
Always there, no matter
the
what
children, the
position
husband.
exactly, no matter what position you are in, no matter where you have reached in life, somewhere down the line, you are a mother after all, right? So you kind of are wondering what's happening at home, other kids getting to eat stuff and things like that. That's advice I would give everyone actually. You really need to delegate. And see, come on, you're earning, so ensure that somebody else also is earning because of you. So that's something
Yeah,
I
that is
believe in.
that is an awesome thought.
Thank you.
I would have never thought of it that way. I would have thought of it as an additional expense, but never as,
It's
like
not an
you're saying,
additional
think of
expense.
it.
You're giving back to the society that way also, right?
That is a beautiful thought.
Thank you.
So, in all these, I mean, you work with your husband's company. You're working as a baker now. So you are now facing the customer, dealing with customers. You deal with all kind of customers, if I'm not wrong, to the very finicky ones,
100%.
to the
100%.
absolutely easygoing ones. So, in this, how do you cope with this range of emotions that you must be feeling through the day when you're dealing with all these
See, somewhere down the
customers?
line, I have always been a people's person. I enjoy interacting with people, and my age is an added advantage, I can say. Nobody takes me for granted that way. So, there's kind of people think, oh, this lady is an older lady. I better not mess around with her, kind of a thing. No, but honestly speaking, I've been blessed with a wonderful set of clients. There are people who will just say, Shubha, I want a cake. And this is a theme. There are people who don't even ask me how much I'm going to charge for that particular cake. And they will say, they just order, and then they ask for the bill in the end. And there are people, see, as a baker, I should understand the financial constraints people will have also. So I don't
Correct.
exorbitantly charge people. I kind of, when you talk to somebody, you realize, right? So if I feel see, for that person, my cake is a luxury, I tend to kind of reduce the price without, even the person won't even know that I have reduced the price for that particular person. But then if I feel that, this is a luxury that person is ordering, I ensure that, the prices are little. But then I don't do it ulta. If I know that the person can afford, I don't overcharge them. I don't overcharge them. But yes, I undercharge at times, but that's okay. Once in a way, you really need to do that, is what I feel. It's, ultimately,
You
it's
you
not everything about money. There's more to life than money.
you definitely got a big and generous heart, Shubha, I must tell you. All this time when I was talking to you, I didn't realize it. It is now when I'm talking to you live that I realize it.
So that's what something. See, how much money do you need to live? After a point, what do you do with all the money is what I feel.
Oh, I could think of things to do with the money.
No, you can do only so much. Unless and until you want to go to the space. Unless and until you want to go to space.
Oh, no, for that, then
No.
that is a different ball game altogether.
Yeah.
So, any particular incident that comes to mind when it comes to customers, or how you dealt with this? Any particular
See,
incident
I
that
would say only positive things only I could say. I tend to forget the negative things. There's no point in thinking about the negative stuff. So I have baked for a few celebrities. No matter, it gives a lot of thrill when you bake for a celebrity or for a known face.
totally?
So a few months ago, I baked for a very leading actor. So he was so sweet. He recorded a video and sent it back to me. He did not have to do that. So that was so touching. I felt so nice. This was somebody I had always admired. So these little
Okay.
things. And then there are clients who will, ensure the child says something and then they record that and send. All these
Oh,
things are
how
so
sweet!
cute. When a little child says, Shubha auntie, thank you so much. And that expression on your face, it's lovely.
Yeah,
So
that is so
and the
sweet, and even that celebrity.
negative part, I don't even want to always when there's a negative incident, you should learn from that incident and move on. You
Correct.
shouldn't, kind of think about that incident always. See, each and every incident is a learning experience for you.
Correct.
After that, you should just forget that, I suppose, and take the positive things in life.
So how do you deal with a negative comment? I'm sure there are very few, but even if something like that comes across,
I
how do you
see,
deal
for
with it?
example, say for example, somebody is not very satisfied with your cake and things like. I do apologize. I don't act egoistic and say that, oh, it's my cake, I'm the best, kind of a thing. No, that is a big no. I do apologize. Nobody asked for a refund as such a big mess up I have never done, I suppose. But then yes, if you have made a mistake, be sorry about it, and then just move on. That is what I believe. But yes,
So
each and every experience should be a learning experience for you.
from the time you've started baking, you must have had some challenges. Even, I mean, like you said, you started off. So when you started off, did your business pick up immediately,
Oh
or
yes.
were there
Yes.
lulls and things like that?
I don't know. I have a wonderful set of friends. They went out there and spread the word like anything. I have a friend who, in fact, used to order cupcakes from me, put it in her child's box, and send it to school. And that child used to go to one of the most leading schools, in Bangalore. And that child used to go and distribute the cupcake to his classmates. And those kids used to go and tell the parents saying that there's one Shubha aunty who bakes very well. And that is how, I have got so many customers because of her. So many friends, they have been a blessing in my life. They have gone and spread the word. So initially it was only friends ordering, and then the circle has grown. Now I think, I'm in the fifth
Increased, yeah.
circle. Friends,
Oh,
friends,
wow.
like that. I have heard, I'm somebody's sister-in-law, and half the time what happens, for example, there's Lippy saved in my phone, and I'll have 5 to 10 Lippys there. Okay, now I'll have to wonder which Lippy is this person talking about. But then one trick I have learned, I would like to tell the other bakers also: don't delete your WhatsApp messages, especially WhatsApp message with your clients. So now it's been
Okay.
3.5 years since I've started baking. So see, I'm human after all. I can't remember each and every person. So my trick is,
Absolutely.
not to delete the WhatsApp messages. So the minute I
So
see
you can
that,
scroll back.
the minute I see Libby calling, before answering the phone, I will go and see who is Libby. Okay, which cake I bake for her. So then I'll say, I'll talk to you as if I know everything. That is a trick I use. I think other bakers also should follow. That way you have that personal touch with your client. That's
Yeah,
very
I guess that
important.
helps every time. I mean,
It
when you speak
does.
personally to a client, and if you can remember what the client ordered
You
last
should
time, or
remember, especially you should remember the people who have helped you in the initial days. Those are the ones who have ensured that you are here. That's something, I really believe in. Never forget somebody who has helped you climb the top.
totally. And what other kind of challenges you
The
would have
biggest
faced?
challenge, I think, not only me, every baker out there will understand is the biggest challenge we people have is delivery part of the cake. See, you
Oh,
will
yeah.
bake, you will decorate, and then you will send it out, and the customer will receive it as a big damaged piece. So initially 1.5 years, I also kind of struggled with this challenge. I used to depend on third-party delivery services. I used to depend
Correct.
on Ola, Uber, and stuff like that. Then I realized this is not going to work. 1 or 2 cakes were damaged, and then you feel so bad. See, you should understand that the client has spent their hard-earned money on this, and it's like pretty expensive also, right? Your cakes are not very cheap also, and then when it reaches, you just kind of get a mess there. Then after 1.5 years, I decided to hire a driver. I trained him.
Okay.
So touch wood, after I hired him, it's been 100% safe delivery of my cakes. See, and then you can't have this attitude saying that somebody will come to you just because your cake is good, and they will drive 25 kilometers down. I don't think you know what Bangalore traffic is. Bangalore traffic is pretty horrible.
Yeah,
You
totally.
can't even imagine somebody driving 25 kilometers and picking up a cake. So that way, what is going to happen? You're going to lose customers. You're going to have
Correct.
customers who are around your area only. You're not going to get customers who are, say, staying 10 kilometers away, 15 kilometers away. But then when you give a safe delivery, when you know that, the cake will reach them safe, let it be 50 kilometers also, then they will order from you only. So that is what I have done. Thankfully, right now, I'd say, cakes are reach safe thanks to my driver. And I think, you should be
Yeah,
grateful
actually,
also that you have a good staff. That's something you have to be grateful. And, you have to treat them well is what I feel.
yeah, they're actually the most important resources,
Most
I mean,
important.
you have,
Exactly.
correct. You have one person. I know the difficulty you face when you want to rehire a person. I've been in HR for a long time, so I
Yeah.
completely understand the
So
pain of rehiring
value
somebody.
your staff, that has to be, treat them like family is the simple motto I'd like to follow. So,
Great.
in
Delivery
fact,
is
my cakes,
honestly.
yeah.
No, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was thinking, when you said what is a memorable thing, forgot to tell you, my cakes have reached Dubai, Egypt, places like that also. Of course, I didn't deliver it. Those people have taken the cake and gone. So it feels very nice. In Karnataka also. So kind of you feel so nice when that happens.
Yeah, amazing. Egypt and Dubai.
Yes, Egypt and
Can you
Dubai.
hear
There
me?
was a friend in Dubai. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
You can hear me, right? Yeah. Yes.
yes.
Egypt and Dubai, both the places, it were friends who, ordered and took the cakes. It felt so nice when they called from there saying that, your cake has reached safely. So it felt very nice.
Superb, yeah. I can't even imagine a cake going all the way from Bangalore to Egypt.
Yeah.
You'll get an order from the pharaohs there someday.
Yeah. Just imagine, like it's saying Mumbai, आपकी मुंह में घी शक्कर.
My gosh, Shubha, it's been awesome talking to you, yeah.
So
So
much. Thank you.
on on a closing note, your advice to anybody who is an aspiring baker who's sitting on the fence about getting into this business, anything that you would like to share?
Follow your dreams, enjoy your baking journey and ensure that you give the best to your clients. You really need to give them your best, and then don't have an ego saying that I'm the best in the field. If they want, let them come to me. I have heard bakers saying that if somebody wants, let them come to me. Why should I go to them and stuff like that? No, treat them with respect. And remember, you are in a service industry after all. You're serving somebody. So in a service industry, the motto has to be polite, be nice to people, serve them well. And remember, it is their hard earned money too. So, like you work hard for the money, they
Totally.
also work hard. So, treat them with respect and you'll reach wherever you want to go. And then upgrade. That's one thing I really tell everyone, upgrade.
Yeah,
You really need to learn. So, upgrade.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shubha. I
Thank you,
mean, I think
Lily.
a lot of your customers also have customers, friends, I'm not sure. A lot of them have joined and they've watched, and most of
I
them say
told
that
you
you
they
are
are
the
the best,
best.
right? I told you I've been blessed with good customers.
In fact, they seem to say you are the best. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Libby. It was a pleasure joining you.
same here, same here. Pleasure's all mine. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Take care. Stay safe. God bless.
You too. Bye.
Bye.